And we are live. What is going on, everybody? Michael here. Welcome to a special episode of Technoid, the 1 hour live episode. I'm starting a little bit later than ahead. ShoAndTech is a little bit, he's got some things going on, so I'm going to just kill a little bit of time until he's ready to go. Uh, so no worries, guys. He will be here soon. I apologize if there's any delays. But welcome everybody to the special 1 hour live stream. I appreciate you guys taking the time out to come join me. Now, my camera is off at the moment. I will be turning it on in just a little bit. But before we do, I have a couple of announcements, and then I will do a roll call, and I will take a look at the comment section, see who we have in the house. So I have an announcement. Unfortunately, I will not be able to review the JBL soundbar due to circumstances that's going on with JBL. I believe because of the COVID. So unfortunately, they would not be able to send it out in time. And I had it pre-ordered since April. I was really, really looking forward. Thank you guys. Checking to see the comments. It looks like we have good audio and video will be up soon. But unfortunately, the unit will not ship in time. So I'm going to have to stretch that video till I could get the speaker. And I can't reorder it because, as you see, it is not available, as it's either sold out or just not available for purchase. So I am going to have to hold off on it till it becomes widely available. So I just wanted to get that out there. Now, with that out of the way, let's do roll call. So let's take a look at who's in tonight. Raf, always the first one. It's good to have you on. And yes, Rafi, thank you for leaving ShoAndTech's link. So when he gets here, I will bring him in, and then we'll start the episode. So I'm going to keep this up when he comes in. Sneed Mobile Tech, it's good to have you on, brother. It's good to see you on here. I appreciate you coming on. It looks like you guys are the only two so far, but I noticed you guys are doing a little competition. Ooh, fluent Spanish. I love it. I love it. I'm just saying right now, I love this stuff. Look at you guys going back and forth. So yes, again, we will be going live in just a few minutes. Thank you to everybody joining in. Again, we're just waiting for ShoAndTech. I will definitely keep the show going afloat, and once he joins, I will bring him in, and I will explain what we'll be covering. I'll do a couple of things. I'm almost ready to go. All right. Let me just finish up roll call here, and then we'll start the show. Brandon is in the house. Brandon, thank you for coming on. I appreciate you coming in. Let's see who else. Darius, thank you for coming on, Darius. I really, really appreciate you coming on tonight. Jarrett, thank you for tuning in. All right, looks like we're set, and it looks like we're ready to go. You give me the thumbs up if you're ready for me to bring you in. You ready? All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is a truly onerous night tonight. Tonight is actually one of my most anticipated nights that I've ever had. Tonight, I am not only joined by a very special YouTuber, but also a YouTuber who is incredibly kind, a very kind YouTuber who, in my opinion, is a great reviewer, does great videos, and is somebody that I consider a very good person at heart. He makes great content, had me fooled with the Flossie comparison, but I want to introduce you guys, and camera's working, I want to introduce you guys to ShoAndTech. Now, guys, if you don't know who ShoAndTech is, I'm going to leave a link to his channel right here at the beginning. And everybody, let's give a formal welcome to ShoAndTech. ShoAndTech, welcome to the Technoid Live episode. Thank you for coming on. This is actually my first time meeting you. Thank you so much for coming on.
No worries, man. Hopefully you can hear me okay.
Sounds good. Everybody, let him know if the audio is good on their end. Now, listen, I just want to say I am sorry that I had to start the show a little early. I know I usually, whenever I bring my guest on, I have a backstage talk. I explain what goes through the process, but I was so far behind, and I wanted you to take as much time as you wanted, so I just hounded it for a little bit. So I apologize if it's not the most professional way to do it. I apologize.
No, you're good, man. That's good.
Thank you so much for coming on. This really means a lot, and it's really an honor to meet you for the first time. For most people that don't know, this man has been very kind to me. So when I was going through what happened with Soundcore in the past, we don't need to kind of go over, you kind of were there to kind of give me some motivation, kind of help me up on my spirits. And you've done a lot of good things for me in the time since. You've done one thing that's really, really incredible, but I can't talk about it now. We'll discuss it later on when we get to that point. But just thank you for all your kind help, and I want to just say thank you for coming on. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no worries, man. I've been there before, so I knew exactly how it felt. So I just wanted to do whatever I could to help you out. So I'm glad it's been working out for you.
I appreciate it, dude. Thank you so, so much. And guys, like I said, check out this man's channels. There are some excellent videos, some excellent quality reviews. You are not going to regret it. And we got some hellos coming in for you. So Sneed Mobile Tech got his brothers in the house. Rafi is saying, yay, he's happy to see you tonight. Sneed shouts you out. What's up? Darius and everyone's happy to see you. It looks like you have some people that watch you already that are in here.
Oh, really? I didn't even realize that I could see the comments. I see it now.
Yeah.
What's going on, guys?
And Sneed says, thank you for helping the channel, and he is about to sub. And by the way, ShoAndTech, Sneed Mobile Tech is another great YouTuber. He is actually what you see with most of my videos. I don't know if you've seen him a couple times. He's very good with cellular connectivity, and he's definitely a good guy. So definitely check him out as well. But also, he'll check you out. You see, Sam?
Absolutely.
I help you one way, two way. It's not a one-way road. It's a two-way. We help each other out. All right, enough talking. Let's get down to the show. So tonight's show, we're going to focus on some news that things have been going on. Now, listen, I know the circumstances of what's happening right out there in America is not good. You know, there's a lot of protests and stuff happening in America, all over the world, of what these things are going on. I've already made a stance on where I stand. I believe in justice for George Floyd. I've given my condolences to his family. I said that I support the protests. I don't support the violent aspect when you burn, things like that. But listen, we're not going to try to dive too much into that, but the first story up actually does involve us talking about it. So not the best way to start the story, but it's actually a very interesting story. So the first story up, let's pop it up right here. First story is Apple Store looters cannot use stolen gadgets. Now, everybody and their mother knows that if you take something from the Apple Store, Apple will not let you use that product. I'm sure you've seen it many times. The security measures. Well, if these people weren't smart enough to realize it by now, I don't know what happened. So apparently these looters, and this is where it gets funny. So these looters took the Apple products and were dumb enough to post it on social media. And the best part of all is the caption. I don't know if I'm able to get in. I'll try to pull it up. But in the bottom of the caption, I'm going to try to pull this up. He says, well, I got to return this back to the Apple Store.
Wow.
Why would you post that on social media that you took an iPhone and Apple literally knows where you're at? Because that's how they track you and they track the devices. Apple always is strict on their security, but when it comes to looting their phones, they are on top of that.
That's unbelievable to me. That was probably one of the first things that I thought when I saw footage of the stores that people were going into, is that a lot of them were just taking the display devices, which we all know don't even work to begin with. So I was curious to see how that would end up turning out, knowing that it's so easy to track them all.
Yeah, and it's crazy to me that, they're dumb enough to post it on social media. Now, this was actually a retweet. This isn't not the original post. But the person that posted this, his tweet got taken down. I guess people reported it, and I guess, he got caught. But hey, listen, I get what's going on out there. I know it's not good situations, but see, this is just backs up my claims of what I'm saying. These people aren't doing it for the right reasons. If you're willing to break into stores and steal stuff, you're not looking for justice. You're just looking for your own personal pleasure. And all I'm going to say is, to the person that was dumb enough to post this on social media, whatever happens to you after this point is on you. That's not on me. That's not on anybody. That's on you. So good luck with that iPhone. That's not going to be a good thing. I mean, I don't know. Like, do people I know people are dumb, but I didn't think they were that dumb. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not trying to be mean. I'm not trying to be rude, but like, come on, man. All right. So keeping up with Apple, I want to talk about the next thing that I've noticed. I saw you address this in your tweet. I was scrolling through. So everybody actually has been pointing this out to me. I didn't take it seriously at first, but then I started looking into it. Apple doubles the cost of RAM upgrades in the 13-inch MacBook Pro. Now, listen, I'm going to go on record and say I do not care about the entry-level MacBooks. I know they're for a specific demographic. I know they're for people that want the Pro but can't afford it. So this is kind of their easy way in. But come on. Like,
I don't know. Me personally, to give you a little backstory, so
Sure.
I do all my editing in Premiere Pro, but recently I've wanted to get into Final Cut. So I've spent probably the last, I want to say 3 weeks or so, looking up the new MacBook Pro 13-inch line. And because I only shoot in 1080p, I figured if I grab the base model and upgrade it just to the 16 gig versus the 8, then that would be more than enough for my channel, because I don't do anything 4K. I don't do anything super extensive. I just wanted to see what Final Cut was about. So that was actually how I originally stumbled upon the fact that the price had gone up, is because I was looking at it for so long and I kept putting it in my cart and taking it back out and doing that over and over again. So I was super surprised to see that. But their justification, it looks like, I didn't look into it at all.
Mhm.
I originally thought it was pretty cheap. It seemed too cheap almost to go from 8 to 16. But I guess their justification is that on all their other devices, uh, this new price that we're seeing on the MacBook Pro 13 RAM upgrade is, I guess, consistent now throughout. So I didn't even know that to begin with.
I'm with you on that. At first, I never really paid attention until people started telling me. And for a while, I used to think that was a fair price. $100 upgraded from 8 to 16 gigabytes. I thought that was fair. I mean, $200 is not going to break the bank. I'm not going to lie. It's not going to break the bank, but at the same time, I can understand why people are a little upset, because that's $100 spike. Now, to be fair, I'm with you. I don't use any of the Premiere software. I use iMovie. I'm going to be flat out and honest. It's good enough for me, but I will be making the jump to Final Cut Pro.
Mhm.
So yeah, I can understand if creators, they want more RAM, they want more specs in the computer. So I guess really where I'm at with this one is that, this is typical Apple. It's not something shocking to me. It's not something upsetting, but at the same time, you should expect this kind of stuff by now. They got to make a profit. They've got to do what they got to do. But at the same time, that's the premium you pay for wanting a Mac, an Apple product. You got to pay the price. And hey, listen, I was a big Apple user. I kind of still am, but I'm now down to two Apple products, an iPad and a MacBook. So
Which iPad are you using?
I am using the iPad Pro, the 2018
18?
model, I think it
Yep.
was.
11-inch?
Yeah, 11-inch. I know a lot of people like the big one. I can't hold it. I don't know. Just I'm old fashioned.
I hear you.
So I guess I'm gonna leave it up to the viewers. If you guys believe that this price is a big surcharge, then you don't have to buy it. I mean, nobody's forcing you. I mean, some people are actually fine with 8 gigabytes of RAM.
Mhm.
Some people, but those people, I tell them you shouldn't be getting a Pro. You should probably go for an Air, because the Air would probably be more for an average consumer, because it's easier, it's portable, it has basically the amount of specs you would need in a MacBook. Because most people that buy this, mostly the Pro users will get it for content creation. But if you're an average user and you just want to get it because it says Pro, that's not really a real reason. I would just go with the Air and you'll do just a good job. Hey.
Well, I think it depends though, because I've done a bunch of research on this, and I think if you look at Max Tech, so Max Tech did a review of the base model, the high end 13-inch, as well as the 16. And based on what he was finding, anyways, for those of you who are looking at grabbing the MacBook 13, like specifically for video editing, is that the way that they've optimized Final Cut Pro is to use the maximum amount of RAM that you have. So even if you upgrade it to 32 gigs of RAM, you would notice during the editing process that it's going to use up to that 32. So whatever you have in your device, it's going to do its best to use all of it. So in his testing, and like if you look at Everyday Dad's testing of the base model, using just that 8 gig model, what they found was the editing process actually wasn't that bad. So like the Everyday Dad, for example, did a 4K 10-bit video edit in Final Cut, and he had 3 layers of 4K on top of each other. And the base model Pro was actually able to bang that out. He tried the same thing on the Air, and it worked, but the fans were on, it was overheating, the render time was ridiculous. So I think, like, as an entry point, especially for someone like myself who's never owned an Apple product other than the new iPhone SE, I think that's like a really nice entry. And that new $200 surcharge to get the 16 gigs is enough of a deterrent for me to just say, you know what, if I just want to get into the ecosystem, let me just buy this MacBook Pro and I'll just deal with the 8 gigs. And if it sucks, whatever, maybe I'll sell it and upgrade later or whatever the case might be. But I think it's just a good entry point and a nice way for people to get in without feeling like they got to break the bank.
Oh, absolutely. You know what? You hit it on the nail. I agree with you 100%. Nowadays, most people kind of are a little upset because they claim Apple's too expensive for them. But I've seen that they've gotten a lot more reasonable in the past few years. If anything, they've gotten a lot more. A lot of my viewers are not really Apple enthusiasts. They're mostly Android enthusiasts. Sam, the Sneed Mobile Tech, he's actually a phone repairman. He knows everything about these stuff, and he does not like the iPhone designs. He claims there's a fault in them. He's repaired so many of them. And, they have legitimate reasons to be upset in the terms of hardware design and physical design. But when it comes to actual user experience, I think Apple kind of shines there because everybody that I know they stick together with Apple. They don't want to break that chain. And I can understand why, because Apple, for me, has an established ecosystem. And one of the foundations of them is not just how the software works, but how it interacts with the hardware. And the one thing I've always given Apple credit is that they were able to optimize their software with the hardware. And mostly for the iPhones and the iPad, because they make their own ARM-based chipsets. And those A-series chips are phenomenally awesome. And now the rumors of them using ARM-based in 2021 for the MacBooks is going to be even incredible because now your whole lineup is using your own CPUs. So now you can have full customization, how you can clock your own CPU. So for me, I'm actually excited on that end. I don't know if you are.
Absolutely. Like I said, as someone that's never jumped into the Apple ecosystem, really, I think that would be, if I don't get this MacBook 13, the 13-inch MacBook Pro now, I think definitely waiting for the ARM is going to be, because if you just look at the iPad Pro and what that's able to do, and even if you look at just the 2018 model of it with the 4 gigs of RAM and how you could open up LumaFusion, throw in 3 layers of 4K, just like we saw with the MacBook Pro, and render it out in real time, right? Whereas the MacBook Pro is going to take sometimes double that. So it's like, if they're able to do that with just an iPad, this little tiny thin thing,
that's crazy.
What are they going to be able to do with their laptops?
And that's where I'm curious because most of these products, they do heat up. But the thing with most Apple products that I've used is their ARM chipsets have pretty good cooling. And that's mostly due to their software as well. So I don't know how they're going to work that out, but I'm actually very interested to see that. And speaking of software, which leads into our final Apple story, and then we'll move over to Samsung, iOS 14. Now, I've been extensively covering iOS 14. I do not know how many rumors I get a day, and I have to pick out the most reliable one. Like, let me break down how I work the show. So I don't pick out the news. My viewers pick out the news. They tell me what I want to cover or what I should cover. They give me the suggestions, then I look it up. But then they'll tell me who I should report them or like who I should take, who I should trust and who I shouldn't. So I literally have to communicate with who I think is the most reliable news source, who is the most commonly used, uncommonly, whether I trust them. It's a process. And sometimes it could take me days before I figure out the right source to go to. And it takes me a little bit of time because I have to make sure I link the original source, not the article, but the original source creditor. So that way he gets the credit, not the article for the news. So it's a rigorous thing. So when I do things like this on a live stream, I get a little bit of relaxation because it's in the moment. So I can't do all that research. So I get the little, hand sanitize my hands and just cool off, get a minty fresh. So don't get mad at me, viewers. Don't get mad at me. But with iOS 14, this has actually been one of the most exciting, in my opinion, iOS that I have actually been personally waiting for. I don't know if you've watched, but I've been saying that iOS 14 is going to finally be open, rumored to be open. And there have been a lot of evidence to suggest that. Now, before I go any further, I ask you, my viewers that are watching, please hit that like button, share out this live stream, and submit any questions you want at the end of this podcast for ShoAndTech. We'll have a little fun at the end, so submit any questions. And also, kind man in the house, Alpha Rackman, another great dude, great YouTuber. Thank you for tuning in tonight. But anyway,
Alpha.
You know him?
No, I don't. I just saw that his post was in here.
Ah, okay. Well, he's a very good dude. He's a very kind person, too. I watched him. I discovered him through a Roku review. Very kind man. All right, now let's get down to this, and then let's move over out of Apple. So according to 9to5Mac, because 9to5Mac really wants to dip their hat into the rumor games, and sometimes they're pretty true. They are talking that iOS 14 might include a built-in translator for Safari, And there's a possibility that Apple Pencil support will be coming to their website. Now, where's their evidence to back this up? Well, according to them, it seems like they're using this as a beta feature because the iPhone is working on trying to get Apple Pencil support, a stylus support for the future iPhones. Now, I don't know if it's going to happen for the 12. I'm predicting the iPhone 13 when they go wireless, because then you have a reason to use a wireless system to work things. But if they were to do it now, I mean, there would be no problem. But it seems like they were able to figure out in some kind of beta testing. It says here they were able to access some features, and not only did it show that they will be including that support, but Safari will now have translations. So this kind of backs up the claims of iOS 14 being a lot more customizable. I think I'm gonna go out on a limb and say iOS 14 is probably going to be the most customization you'll see on an iPhone, because I've used Apple products since 2009, from the original iPad to the original iPhone, my uncle. And I could tell you, seeing that same design for the past 12 years, it gets a little boring. And
Absolutely.
it's easy, but it's boring.
Yeah.
So when you're able to customize, you give your users an experience. And so far, the rumors of iOS 14 are opening third-party based applications to be your default, like browser. The one that I'm excited for is music, because I can finally get rid of Apple Music and go all in on Spotify. Love me some Spotify. I'm just saying. I'm just saying, man. I love Apple Music's integration, but when that Spotify comes, that's one less bill on my check. But anyway, um, so the third-party app is that first one. Then you could customize wallpapers. There was an actual leak of being able to customize your own wallpapers, use third-party wallpapers. And iOS 14 is also going to go back to iOS 12 roots in terms of bug performance, trying to kind of smooth out the OS. They're going to use a new process. So I have a question I want to ask you. You've used the iPhone SE. You're on
Yep.
iOS 13. I don't know if you've been an Android user. I mean, are you an Android user, or are you regularly an iPhone user?
No,
And
Android through and through. My first iPhone was the iPhone 4S, and I used that for a year before I switched over.
that was a good phone. That was a very nice phone. The 4S was a great design, and I miss it. I feel like I'm old now, and I'm only 20. And I know everybody gets mad when I say that, but hey, I'm starting to realize age is catching up. Yesterday I was 5 years old. Now I'm 20. Time flies. I'm just saying. But um, as an experienced user, now that you've used iOS and now that you've gotten a feel with the iPhone SE, if Apple was to open up the platform a little bit like this, do you think that would make an overall difference in your experience compared to something like Android that you've used?
Me personally, yes. I do think overall it's gonna be good for the Apple users. But my thing is, and not to bash Apple fans, but whenever something like this happens, where Apple, finally starts to take an idea and kind of build on it
Mhm.
from what they've seen elsewhere, then Apple fans feel like, this is new. This is created by Apple, and then the whole fanboy thing starts. And I'm not, like I said, I'm not bashing. I
No,
just
yeah.
know how it is. So I can see a lot of users, like, and I think of, like my parents and things who use Apple devices and aren't really too tech savvy. They're gonna think that this is something that's like brand new tech, so customizability, all these things. When it's like, yeah, Android's been doing that forever.
Mhm.
And my thing is like, like I said, I'm not bashing because I totally understand from a standpoint of ease of use and just like an overall not having to feel like there's any type of learning curve. Apple's fantastic with that. So I just feel like the way that they're going to implement it with this iOS 14 is going to be in such a way that it's not overwhelming to people. Where when they grab an Android phone and want to do those exact same things, then there's that feeling of, maybe this process is too convoluted, there's too much going on, and people get that kind of analysis paralysis where they don't know what to do. So I'm looking forward to seeing how Apple continues to make sure that, for the new user, someone that is brand new to smartphones or brand new to at least that type of phone, I want to see how they go about promoting it and just how much customizability they actually give. Because watching all these people that just use the new jailbreak and seeing how excited everybody got about that, to me, I feel like part of the reason why that's happening is because Apple wants to see, how do people react to this? Is this really something that they want? So like I said, I'm very excited. I felt like the iPhone SE, while it was a great phone, it was just too limited for me. There's a lot of things about iOS that as much as I loved iMessage and being able to just integrate everything so easily, there were so many things about iOS that I just still couldn't stand. So like I said, I'm looking forward to seeing how uh, they just make it easier for everybody to jump into it, and I want to see what that final product actually looks like.
That's actually, something. Um, I'll be honest with you. I used to be a big Apple supporter in the day. I would defend them on everything. I was kind of like an Apple sheep. I'm not gonna lie. And I used to say Apple perfects it. What it took Android to take to do this, Apple did it in one update. I used to be like that guy. I'm not gonna lie. But when I used Android, I actually switched over last year. This is my first full year with the Note 10 Plus, and I've enjoyed my experience. I'm enjoying it. I'm actually that's why I've gotten rid of all my Apple stuff because I enjoy it enough. I got the Aura Blue. You got the what is it, white or clear, or what
The,
is it called?
the Aura Glow.
Aura Glow.
Yeah.
And you rocking it without a case, that's even more respect right
No,
there.
no, I had to take it off.
I was about to say you got more confidence than me because I can never take this thing out. I'm on life support with phones, and it's a long story. But I admit, there are some things Apple misses, but there's something about Apple when they do it. Like you said, their fan base hypes it up. Like I saw that firsthand in iOS 12 when they brought or was it iOS 13? I forgot which update it was when they brought dark mode. I think it was 13, and all the fans were going, "Ooh, ah!" I was like, "Are you kidding me? Dark mode was out for like a few years. Y'all just thought you really saw it
Exactly.
now?" And then there was the swiping one, with the keyboard, and everyone was going,
Pattern.
"Oh."
Yeah. Oh,
I'm like,
the keyboard typing, yes. Keyboard typing, yes. So you think that's bad? I said in one of my videos, I've actually had a conversation with not one person, not two, but three people who, when the AirPods Pro came out, were like, yeah, so Apple created active noise canceling. And I'm like, pardon? They did what? Yeah. On their new the AirPods Pro, they created active noise cancel. This is the only device that you can cancel out the noise around you. And then they have this ambient mode where it uses the mics to pick up the sounds around you. And I'm like, excuse me?
the cringe.
Where have you been? Like what makes you think that Apple invented this? So like are AirPods the only headphones that you've ever used in your life to think that like there's no other tech that exists outside of what that company brings? So I've seen it. I've seen it a lot. So, like I said, I'm just excited to see what iOS 14 does, and I'm hoping that it sort of bridges the gap so that people start understanding that Android and Apple, there doesn't need to be a fight. Doesn't need to be headbutts all the
Yeah.
time. It's just what can both of them learn from each other, and remembering the fact that Android is built for so many different manufacturers. It's kind of like Windows, right? You can never really optimize it because you've got to make it work on so many machines, whereas Apple only got to make it work on one, and they create that. So they can just do a lot more with that simple fact, which is what always keeps me interested. Even though I don't use all their devices, I'm always interested to see what it is that they're actually doing because they can do so much with that.
And there's one other thing I don't know if you know this, but when they make the iOS platform and iPad OS, they don't just do it with new devices. They actually get aged devices and run the software so that way it's betterly optimized for older phones. I've been trying to tell people that. Some people call me a liar, but I'm like, the evidence is out there. You can look it up
Well,
yourself.
I would argue that happened after the class action
That's
lawsuit.
what I was about to say. But
When
then you
they were
can put
slowing
that
down
in.
phones.
I've been saying it like, Apple, there was something sketchy. So I always knew there was something going on. But I will say this. I like where Apple goes. I think they got a good ecosystem. I think you're right. I hope this bridges the gap. And I know Apple has a tendency to bash Android at their conferences, when it comes to adoption to the Who updates and stuff. They got to remember, just because your users do update doesn't mean that it's the most used. You're just saying people that update to a new OS. Most people don't even. They just forget there is even an update on Android. Most people just stick with what they know.
Mhm.
And hey, listen, I'm going to end it with this, and I'll say this. I love Apple. I'm always going to love Apple. I like what they do. I'll admit they've gotten boring for me, but I'm actually intrigued what they're doing this year, and I definitely am excited. Now, before we talk Samsung, let's take a quick few seconds. I'm going to pull out some comments here in the live chat. Caleb in the house. Thank you, Caleb. By the way, this man, Caleb, shout out to this man. He is an actual engineer with T-Mobile link ups. He is also part of the SMT Nation. Great dude, Caleb. Thank you for your hard work keeping our cellular connectivity. I don't know what you've got. I got T-Mobile.
I'm in Canada, so I got TELUS.
TELUS. I've heard of that. So yeah, he's in charge of the T-Mobile area. So he's a great job. But anyway, Robert posted something funny. He says, iPhones are operations, they're tools, not personality. Soulless. You can see Robert kind of doesn't like the iPhone. I love you, Robert, though.
I can see
love
it.
you, man. Then there was another one. I just had it. Darius posted, my first iPhone was the 5 and 6S, but Android has always been my first love as I was working for T-Mobile back when we got the G1. That's a long time ago. I remember that. And, something that's crazy how time flies. And Robert points out one more time, Apple has a place. Don't get me wrong. It's a great starter. I'd recommend to my grandma. You know what? Honestly, I agree. Hey, listen, older people like it. Hey, it's simple and easy to use. It's better than them asking us what to do.
That's right.
Caleb, you're getting the iPhone 12 Pro this year. Smart man. Before they drop the port. He can't trust the Pixel hardware anymore. We'll get to that. We'll get to that when we cross that bridge, Caleb. I know where he's going with that. But anyway, now let's move over to Samsung. Mm-hmm. So with every tech company, there's always a competitor. We know this. And Samsung has proven to be one of the better competitors to Apple. Because Google can make the claim. OnePlus is starting to be in the argument. Huawei, they're in China. But in America, the real company that can stand toe-to-toe with Apple is Samsung. And not just because of what Samsung does, but that they're not just a solely phone division. They have so many other things that they could literally do their phone division maybe 4 years and they still would make more money. But recently, they've become an emerging player in the tablet market. I've been talking about it, the Tab S6, and now there is the newest add-up to the lineup, the Tab S7. Now, I've been on the record saying that I'm not a big fan of Android tablet for the one reason that it is not properly optimized. I never really understood why their tablets, and it's not their fault, it's Google, so they've started implementing the One UI on their tablet, so it makes it much easier and recognizable. But it looks like this year's Tab S7 is going to be a jump, not only to compete against the iPad Pro, but will also be the rumored first 5G tablet. So let's take a look at the breakdown. Now, the reason I pulled this article up from Tom Guide is because it's more reliable. The rumors are all here rounded up nicely, so we don't have to go looking and scattering. So in their rumors, the price point is about the same as what they expect the iPad Pro entry level, $799. And they expect the Tab S7 to come in at around the $750 marks. And if they were able to do it, maybe $699. So that's our predictions. When it comes to spec, it looks like they are going to be using the 865G Snapdragon, which is actually a plus because for the most part, they've been using their custom-made Exynos chips, and Exynos are pieces of garbage. Smart move, getting Qualcomm to help you out there, Samsung. Smart move. And also, they are expected to give not only Wi-Fi 6, but they will have the 5G. Now, this is where all the hype is starting to build now. Now they're trying to build the 5G technology in a tablet. Now, I'm going to say this. I don't use a cellular tablet. I have no interest in bringing a tablet with me, going places. Also, by the way, hello, Maverick. Thank you for joining. But I will say, 5G, there are people that use it, but I don't think 5G is there. As you know, I pointed out a couple of guys in the live chat who not only work with the technology, but they also cover this thing for a living. The SMT, Caleb, and Raf, he watches as well. Raf, you're a great dude, so you definitely help us out. But my question to you is about the Tab S7. Do you really think that, and I'm just asking, do you really think that 5G is really going to convince people to really get a cellular Android tablet? Because 5G speeds are not even near what it could be. Now, there are rumors in America that the 5G is being capped at a gigabit, but I live over here. I live on Staten Island. I've done speed tests. I don't even break 500. So that's fake 5G for me. So my question is this really even going to do anything?
Well, personally, being in Canada, we don't really have, 5G is something that is just now getting started, kind of off the ground. And there's a couple locations near Toronto where you'll be able to access it, and the speeds are terrible. And then what I see on Twitter from a lot of Americans is that the 5G speeds out there really aren't anything to write home about either. So I think, and it's the same thing that kind of happened with uh, the S20 line, is that I think they just put the 5G in there as an excuse to say that they're future proofing it. And as such, they can charge more. So it's the exact same thing that happened with, started to talk about Apple again, but if you go back to the MacBooks that came out previously when the Touch Bar first came out, they threw the Touch Bar on there because now it's a gimmick, and because that's there, I can charge more, right? Nobody else has this Touch Bar. It's the first time we have it, so now you can pay $250 more per unit. So I think that that's the same thing with the Samsung tablet. Is if we throw 5G in there, a 5G antenna, then automatically people have to pay for it. And it was like we said, that was the main reason, or the excuse that they gave anyways, for the S20 Ultra as to why that price has gone up, is because of that 5G future proofing. So I think that that's all it is. It's just right now 5G just looks good. It sounds good. Whatever product you're selling, if you have 5G at the end of it, you know, you're going to have those super involved tech heads that are going to buy it just because it says 5G. And you're going to have consumers who buy it just because it says 5G. So I think that that's just a way to sort of increase their profit margins on a tablet that otherwise really isn't that exciting.
Yeah, I'm with you on that because I'll be honest, I would never recommend an Android tablet, even as good as Samsung. And despite Samsung making a good tablet, I still don't think it's enough. However, the one thing that I've been learning, and this has actually been hanging out with Sam and all them, is the wavelength and the band support of the tablet with the 865 modem. So basically, the tablet would have to support, if you want to future-proof something, from what I've learned with these guys, is they have to have certain band support. Like I'm not good with the numbers, but Caleb, you can let me know the numbers. So they have, in order for it to be future proof, it has to support future band support that'll come out. Then you've also got to, and Darius. Oh, Darius is one of those tech heads, so definitely let me know. And another thing with 5G is that, you know, it's going to be millimeter wave, it's going to be mid band, it's going to be low band. What is it going to be the support for the tablet? Because in America right now, the only one closest to really like fast 5G is millimeter wave with Verizon's 5G. T-Mobile haven't really seen, but the SMT has been posting daily, so positive on that. And I look at 5G because my mother has the S20 Plus 5G. We've done the speed test. I've done the speed test on the Note 10 Plus. And Caleb, here are the band supports that they need to support if it wants to be future proof. And I'm pretty sure, I don't know if this is true or not, Caleb, you can let me know, but I'm pretty sure most of these phones haven't even turned on a quarter, maybe even most of these band supports like N66 and N261. I'm not sure. So Caleb, let me know. So I think it's cool that it's future proof, but again, I don't really think it's going to be a selling point. What I do think is a selling point, if you want to make a case, is they do have a bigger variant coming, a 12-inch tablet. It does support DeX. It'll have a 120 hertz display. And I guess if you want to throw in the S Pen that they include, because Apple, they make a big gimmick about buying it. I don't know. But I will say this. Samsung has something there. They got something. I don't know necessarily if it's a home run, because I to this day, if anybody asks me what tablet they need, I recommend an iPad because it's better. Like Apple make that like they made that perfectly. So no matter how great an Android tablet is, the iPad just cannot be beat, at least for now. But I think there's something brewing with Samsung. I think they've got something on their hands as a competitor. And being that this is the 7th tablet they've released, it kind of shows there is a market, but they've got to do a lot more if they want to kind of push the boundaries. They do have trackpad support, biometric support, but at the end of the day, I think they need to do more. And when it comes to 5G, these are the bands that they need support. Thank you, Robert. Thank you for providing me for AT&T and Verizon. So they're going to have to do a lot, and they're going to need to really update this thing. So all I'm going to say with that is I hope that the tablet does well. I don't know if 5G is really a selling point for me, but I will say it's intriguing. And hey, to each his own. That's as best as I can put it. Next up on the Samsung train list, let's talk Galaxy Watch. Now, I don't know if you use the Apple Watch or Galaxy Watch. Are you a fan of the Galaxy Watch, or what are you a fan of?
Uh, here's my watch. Shameless plug. It's don't worry, it's not sponsored. So I use this guy right here. It's the Amazfit Bip. I
Let me
don't know.
pull up your screen. Let me give you a little more zoom in.
My bad. This guy right here. It doesn't look like anything special, but it does everything that I need it to. I can change the watch face. I can get text on it. I can track my runs, my workouts, etc. And the battery lasts for 3 months on a single charge.
That is excellent.
So I was originally looking at the Galaxy watches and the Apple Watch, and it was just like, why pay for all that when I can drop $90 on Amazon for this guy here? Because it does all the same stuff. I can't send a text from it. I can't talk to it.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, for me, like I get it, the smartware.
Mm-hmm.
I've never really been too interested with the Galaxy watches. The Galaxy Watch Active 2 is probably the first one that I truly looked at. That's it right there.
Yep, this is the. I'll
Myself,
take it off. This is the Galaxy Watch Active 2. I got this as a gift on Black Friday. I paid for it myself, so what am I saying gift? But um, I got it because I wanted to get a full experience into Samsung's ecosystem, and considering it was at a really good price in America, $200. So for me, and it was 44 millimeter or 44 millimeter, whatever the size was. I don't know. It's 40 and 44. I think that's the size variant. So for me, it was a good deal. So I pulled it in. But if it was up to me, I personally want an old-fashioned watch. I'm an old-fashioned guy, so I like the old standard. But you know what? It does the job well. It keeps track of my workouts. It's been very useful when I go to the gym. And honestly, the Galaxy Watch Active 2, honestly, in my opinion, is probably the best smartwatch that Samsung's made right now. It's at an affordable price point. It has a digital crown. It's got a future-proof ECG feature coming soon if they ever release the damn update. But it's got everything you need, Spotify integration, your ecosystem and stuff. So I really think when you're buying a smartwatch, I think you're buying it for the ecosystem. I really think that's why most people do it. But when it comes to competitors, Apple kind of dominates when it comes to the Apple Watch because that's the cult. Everybody's going to follow. Apple Watch is like an essential nowadays. But Samsung has proven to be the second best. And there have been talks of a Galaxy Watch 2. Now, the original Galaxy Watch was a premium smartwatch. It had a stainless steel band. It had everything from a digital crown, not a digital, a physical bezel and all that turning, blah, blah, blah. Long story short, it was great. But a lot of people said it's been like, 2 years since they've updated the original. It's about time. Well, it looks like their wish might finally be granted because it looks like they leaked. There was a patent. I was covering the story. I was planning on releasing an article about it. Not an article, I'm sorry, a video. And then I saw this article. I will still decide whether I'm going to cover the story because I'm already doing it tonight. But according to this website rumor, it says here that there were two filings for the FCC. There were two models. There was one is a 45 millimeter timepiece, and then there's an exterior piece with titanium. So it looks like they will be borrowing the titanium build from the Apple Watch. But the filings show that they're a brand new wearable that Samsung is hoping to release. I can't really give a time frame because I don't really know exactly. And all I'm going to say with this is that if it is the Watch 2, then this is the update they need. Because I'll be honest with you, I've seen it. It feels outdated. It looks outdated. It's a good watch, but it's really outdated. But I will give Samsung credit where credit is due. They have very good watch support because their software is based on Tizen. So Tizen OS is a lot more flexible because Android is done by Google and Tizen is open platform, a lot more free open. So Samsung can do whatever they want on Tizen. So the support is cool, but you got to update it. So my question to you is, let's say this watch comes out. And let's say now there's the Active 2, the Watch 2. Which one do you really go for? Is there enough difference to make you want to go for the premium, or would you want to save a few dollars but still get a majority of the features of the Active? I could say from a consumer's point of view, I think most people would levitate towards the Active for swimming if you're a swimmer. If you're an active user, it's in the name, but also because you're not looking for anything fancy and everyday bring around, although that's an expensive bring around. But then if you want to be a little bit more casual, you want to have a little bit more flair, hashtag Ric Flair 2020, you could go with the Galaxy Watch 2. But I'm going to say from a consumer's point of view, they're probably going to levitate towards the Active 2. What do you think?
I probably have to agree with you on that one. Just knowing how I use my watches, I've got a pretty good watch collection, and the majority of them aren't digital. And I feel like if I'm gonna go out and drop, talking Canadian prices, like $600 on the new Galaxy Watch when it comes out, because I know what the price is gonna be like in Canada, I would sooner just go and buy any other watch. Like I would spend $200 less and buy the Active, because I know that, even someone that buys that more premium Galaxy Watch, you're going to use it for this exact same things as the guy that's buying the Active. So unless the Galaxy Watch is able to have, much better battery life or something like that, or charges faster, or maybe it has reverse wireless charging, so I can charge my Galaxy Buds off the watch or something crazy like that, then I wouldn't go ahead and spend that premium for this big clunky looking Galaxy Watch. I think they made the Active 2 too good to make anybody want to shell out any extra money for the flagship watch, if that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm with you on that. And I'll add on one more point, and then we'll get to the final Samsung story, and then we'll finish up the episode, and then I'll take some questions from the live chat. But another point I'll add out is if you get this Galaxy Watch, this premium flagship, just remember that half of that stuff is already in the Active too. The only thing you're paying for is the build material and realistically maybe a bigger screen by maybe 1 millimeter. So to me, I would go with the Active 2. I think the Active 2 is a smarter investment. It's easier to damage it. Well, not damage, but it's easier to treasure because more people would probably bring it with you and do everything. And also, I'm going to be honest with you, the ECG feature's in this thing already. So all I got to do is roll out the update and it's in there and you don't got to worry. Although the ECG feels more like a gimmick, even for the iPhone as well.
Yeah, it's not gonna be that accurate. Not accurate enough to care about
Go
it.
to your doctor. That's all I tell people. Don't use your smart. Like I swear, I get in arguments every day with people that say my smartwatch is my new doctor. I'm like, you need professional help, and not professional help up here, but from here. All right, last Samsung story. All right. Do you remember a little product called the Galaxy Home?
Oh gosh.
I don't want to cover this. I don't want to do this because what I'm about to say is the truth. There is no need for this product.
Absolutely not.
And Samsung knows it, but it looks like they might actually release a variant. So let me give you the chronological time frame of where we're at with this disaster. And Raf put it perfectly. It's a disaster. So way back 2017 or 2017, I'm going to say, or 2018. I don't know. It feels like an eternity. But they released the Galaxy Home. The original Galaxy Home was supposed to be their Bixby-enabled speaker. It was supposed to compete with the HomePod. And the whole gimmick was that it's a Samsung ecosystem product made with AKG sound. And I'm going to go off the bat and listen, I know probably going to get offended, but I love AKG. I'm a big, big supporter of AKG, although I still use Soundcore as my main driver when it comes to audio experience when I'm at home relaxing. Let me just say one right now. This bad boy, I had a party the other day. This bad boy combined with this one in the backyard was loud enough to cover the entire acre of the pool. You got a second one, or is that the box?
This is my first one, so I only have the one.
I'm telling you, don't sell yourself short. Get two if you can get it. Get two. You're going to love it. I'm telling you. The experience is nice. There are a little bit of bugs, but it's good. I'll say it's good. And Caleb is right. The one device that looters won't want. You know what? That's highlight comment of the night. That's a truth. But they announced it. They put it in an indefinite delay. Then they went rogue. They didn't hear anything about this product. There was nothing. There was no talk. But then recently, a few months ago, about almost a year, Samsung came out with a follow-up before the original one was released. And that one was called the Home Mini. And that one was actually well received by maybe the two people that have used it. Because what you don't know is that actually is released. They've released an actual Home Mini product. Now, The product is not available in America, and let it stay that way.
Yeah.
It's in South Korea, but there is a lot of positives coming out of this speaker. Oh, thank you, Cesar. So Cesar get with the $2 super chat. Thank you so much. He loving the stream. I gotta say that most of that contribution is coming from ShoAndTech. Thank you so much. But yeah, people actually own it. And it turns out that Samsung released its newest, first ever firmware update for the Galaxy. I can't take this one serious. I'm sorry. I can't take this seriously because
Oh my gosh.
why is this a thing? Okay, time out. Let me just say this. I understand that there probably is a market for this thing for maybe like the 3 people maximum using Bixby. Maybe that 2 people that use Bixby on this watch that haven't jailbroken it and put a Google Assistant. But I will say this, like, they say it sounds good, it works okay, and yeah, but who wants Bixby?
Who need? Well, I just think that it's I can understand parts of it. So I can understand if it gets released in Korea only, because obviously that's where a huge market is, and because Apple products cost so much more overseas, a lot of people might gravitate more towards this versus grabbing an Apple variant or the Amazon variant or the Google variant, perhaps. But even still, I think it's too late.
It is too late. And hold on 1 second. Darius with a generous super chat, $10 super snap. Thank you so much, Darius. I really appreciate it. And you notice my backup crew always has when it's on alert. They're always ready and prepared. But thank you guys. Listen, to all of you donating tonight, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I never asked for money from you guys, so by you doing this means so much to me. Thank you so much. But again, I'm not going to take all the credit here. A lot of it does come from ShoAndTech. So you got to give him some respect too. So thank you for definitely helping contribute.
I'm good, man. It's fun.
Also, King Cry is here. Thank you for joining. He says, I have $100 CAD. Please tell me what truly wireless headphone to buy. Ooh, okay. That's a question. We'll save you that question for later. We'll save that question for later. That's for you. That's for you. So, Kindergarl, stay on till the end because we're going to have a Q&A session for him. But I will say this, to the people that use it, look, it's cool if you like it, if you like Bixby, but common sense, people, Bixby is just nothing near Google Assistant. Now, I will say this. If they were able to make their own OS like Tizen, where there's no Google support, where it's all theirs, because they have their own app store, they have their own UI, but I gotta say, though, even still, like, the only way I could see Bixby really making a big difference for them is if they were to make this thing its own OS, like have Bixby be the main, assistant, and it would have no influence with Google, but you can't do it. But they could, because they have their own app store and they have developers willing to develop apps on there, like Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, Facebook. So they have people willing to make the apps. It's up to you if you want to diverse away. So all I'm going to say with this, and you can finish it off, nice try, Samsung, but better luck next time.
I just think it's too late, man. Like I said, I get it. You want to get into that market, but it's too late. I would, without even looking at the stats, I would assume that Amazon is on top, and that in terms of like the smart home speakers, Amazon is definitely going to be on top or very near the top. And then I would give it to Apple and then Google in third. And then if we were to talk about like the assistants, the voice assistants, Bixby's probably behind Cortana. And who even uses Cortana to begin with? So I just think like eventually
Cortana was originally a assistant in the game in the Halo. Yeah. I one of those OGs that remembers. You probably play.
Give it a rest and try to find the next thing. Don't work, because think about how many people buy a Samsung phone and the first thing that you do is you remap the Bixby button, right? Immediately, as soon as you get the phone out of the box,
that was the first thing I did.
Yeah, how do I remap the Bixby button? Because garbage.
And they've made it easy. That's the thing. They've made it easy to remap it. They actually made it, like, before they tried to push it, but I guess they kind of came to their senses and said, you know what, this isn't working. Let's just give them the access. But still, look, I'll say this to Samsung. You could pull it off if you have your own OS. If you diverse away from Google and do your own thing, you might be able to pull it off. But until that day comes, everybody's going to be using Google system.
Absolutely.
All right. We've reached the final part of our episode. Now, before I end out the segment, before I finish this last story, let's get to those questions. So the first question that was asked to you was from Kindergarten. He has $100. Can you please tell him what truly wireless headphone to buy? I'm going to leave that to you because you are, in my opinion, a more qualified reviewer to do this than me. So I'm going to give you the honors.
In my opinion, so $100 Canadian dollar doesn't stretch as far as the American dollar, but for me anyways, with all the headphones that I've used, and if I show you, sorry, if I show you this side of my desk setup over here, there's a bunch of truly wireless earbuds down there. You see all the Soundcore products, etc. I got some Dudios over there. I've got the Pamu slides hiding somewhere back there. I've tested out a lot of truly wireless earbuds and headphones. If you're looking for headphones, I would say spend the $65 Canadian, jump on Amazon and grab yourself a pair of the Soundcore Life Q10s. So those are over-the-ear headphones. Right now they come in red and purple, but they just announced a black on black, which has Twitter going insane. Not only that, but they are releasing in the next couple of weeks. I can't remember the naming of it, but it's similar to those Life Q10s, but it's basically an updated version. Also black on black, but uses titanium drivers this time. And so the sound quality is going to be even better than the Q10s. So that's going to come in at around $70 Canadian, and you can still pocket 30 and go buy yourself some food or something. So I wouldn't even spend the whole 100. If you get the Q10s, you're not going to be upset.
That's a fair, something. Listen, I respect Soundcore. I love the hell out of their company. I've been a big fan of them. I know we had our little issues in the past, but it's water under the bridge now. It's like the little troll that lives under the bridge. But I'll be honest with you, I've actually gotten rid of most of my Soundcore products, not because they're terrible, but because I'm a guy that kind of likes to keep things simple. So I went back to the Galaxy Bud Pluses because I was tired of using a second app and also so many things to monitor. So I just wanted to keep myself simple. But if I were to go back, I would go back to the Liberty 2 Pros because I think the Pros were nice. But I looked at their over-ear Bluetooth headphones, and I gotta say they look really nice, especially that black on black. There's a new one that they've somebody talked about. Well, not new, but it's been out there, but they just made some wave. It's called the Soundcore Vortex. It's on sale for $35 in America. So they're incredibly Tech Loving Mama. Thank you for joining. Thank you. It's an honor to have her on. She's great. He says here, I have Audio Technica M50S for over ears. So maybe let's talk Bluetooth earbuds. Maybe
Bluetooth earbuds. That one's a little bit more difficult because, like you mentioned, Liberty 2 Pros, but the Liberty 2 Pros in Canada are $199. And then I think Amazon still has that $40 coupon, so call it $159.
Okay.
So if you want to spend like that extra $60, that would be an amazing choice. But the fit is hit or miss. So some people can wear them and go running in them and they're totally fine, whereas other people, and it's always subjective, other people, as soon as you turn, they're going to fall out of your ears. So I usually don't suggest the Liberty 2 Pros, which are these guys here. I usually don't suggest these as like a first choice just because of the issues with the fit and how much they cost. Because some people will be upset, but those are probably the best sounding earbuds that I've ever used.
Yeah, I will second that. I actually agree. The second best that I've listened to were the Galaxy Bud Pluses. That's just my opinion because of the woofer and tweeter. But the Liberty 2 Pros have a very nice build. That's a very unique build. And guys, I will leave a link to his video. He did a very great detailed review of the Liberty 2 Pros, so you're going to want to check that out. I'll even go as far as say it's better than mine. I'm being honest. You make some really great videos. You make some really great stuff. I enjoy it. And if we pop up on their website real fast, they've got affordable earbuds all across the platform. Now, this is American price for most people, but in Canadian, we can convert. If you take a look, if you were in America, you've got alternatives. You don't have to necessarily buy the latest and greatest. You can always go to Liberty Air and get good sound quality. See, look at the reviews. You could upgrade, spend a few extra dollars, and get Liberty Air 2, which is actually what I would choose because I think Liberty Air 2 does a great job at kind of being enough for people.
Mhm.
Liberty 2 Pro, if you really want that sound quality, this is going to put them on the map. I think they're already on the map. Then they got some new ones like the Spirit Dot 2 that's coming out, the Liberty 2 that's been out as well, which is I don't get why they did that. They made the Liberty 2 Pro and then Liberty 2. That means they should make a Liberty Air 2 Pro.
True. True.
And then you've got the P2. That's another good one.
Oh, someone asked, where is it?
Where did he ask? How was the Soundcore Life 2?
So I did a review on those. I actually really like them, but what is unfortunate is that I didn't buy the Life P2s first. So I bought the Liberty Air 2s first, made that review. And then I bought the Liberty 2 Pros second, made that review. And then I bought the Life P2s afterwards. So I noticed that the Life P2s do have some things that are great about them. For example, they're fully waterproof. That's one thing. Number two, the second thing that I really like about them is you can actually pair. So you can take them out of the case and pair them to two separate devices. So my wife can be on her phone with one. I can be on my phone with the other, on the plane, whatever, if she forgets hers or they're not charged or whatever it might be. But there are some issues in connectivity. So the proximity between you and your device that you're using to listen to needs to be relatively close. Like I wouldn't leave my phone on one side of the couch and sit on the other and try to listen to music, for example. So that is an issue with the P2s, but the price on them is enough to make anybody at least test them out.
Yeah. And I will say this about I will say this that I really like about Soundcore that kind of makes me jealous, actually makes me want to go back now. Is the fact that their products are just so inexpensive, but they're such good quality. Like this speaker right here, the Rave, I've wanted this one badly. The only reason I didn't go for it was because I bought those two, the Soundcore Flare 2, and those are enough to fill up the backyard. But if I really wanted, I would buy this one because you've got two tweeters, two woofers, two transducers on the side, and this thing produces not only thumping bass, but the sound is comparable to JBL. I'm going to be honest. I don't know if you would go as far to say that, but I honestly got to say the sound quality on their speakers, especially the portable ones, I think they're pretty comparable to JBL, in my opinion. They have some features in there that are actually really nice. When it comes to their headphones, starting with earbuds, I think they've knocked it out of the park. I think they've done a phenomenal job with a lineup of products. I think they've done tremendous. And the reason I brought them up was because I know you're a big fan of Soundcore, and, I still am. So I wanted to kind of incorporate that into the stream. But also, I just want people to know that just because I use a different product doesn't mean I won't ever vouch for them. I tell everybody that, they said, hey, dude, I only have $100. What is the best headphone you recommend? Liberty Air 2. Or if they want to spend the extra 50, they could go Liberty whatever. So for me, I think Soundcore has a lot of products, and I think they are, honestly, I think they're great. I think their products are great. So I'm going to leave it at that. And I know this is the newest one they're releasing, and I can't wait to see the review on your channel for that. I actually cannot wait to see that.
Yeah, I'm supposed to get those this week.
Nice.
The Liberty, so Spirit Dot 2, sorry. And then I'm also supposed to get, and what I'm most excited about is the Fire X2, like the workout specific ones that go around the ear. Apparently,
I know those ones. Those are so cool.
yeah.
I actually am excited for the Spirit Dot 2 because if it's enough, because it shows that it's like the Galaxy Bud Plus, but it's a lot smaller, I hear. If it delivers, I actually might go back to that. I might, because I'm an active user, so that would be good for the gym. And it might be enough. But I mean, right now I'm sticking with Galaxy Bud Pluses only because I want to be in the Samsung ecosystem, and I like AKG, but huge reservations to Soundcore and what they're doing. And they also are an Anchor company. So they have, great charging, great battery. So I just wanted to incorporate that into the show. And it looks like we've reached the end of our podcast. We did an hour, and you know what? I think everybody loved it. So that's it for tonight's episode, guys. Now, before I end this, I always like to do a little thank you to anybody that comes on. I don't have a speech, so what I say is truly from the heart and also from the mind. So, first things in order, I just want to say thank you so much for coming on tonight. This was truly a privilege and an honor to have you on. You have no idea. I normally don't ever get, emotional or any personal, but I'll be honest. I watched your videos in college when I was in class and I was just bored. This was in back October, November, and I was just a guy in college bored and waiting for class to start. And I see your video of the Liberty Air 2s, and then you start talking the pros, and I just instantly got hooked on your channel. It was literally in a parking lot in my college where I found you, and it was great. And from that point forward, I loved your channel and I loved what you did. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, when that night happened, and I think everybody knows, I'm going to be honest what happened that night. I was a little upset, and I was upset that, Soundcore, I reached out to them because I was a little low on money because of COVID. I didn't have a job. I could afford them, but I wanted to try to get two, so I reached out, and they didn't respond to me. They were ignoring me. And another YouTuber, Front Page Tech, John Prosser, I don't know if you know him, he reached out and tried to help, and that still didn't work. But then out of the blue, when I thought that, nobody cares and you know what, I just got to go on, you found me. And I don't know how you found me. I had, to this day, I'm like, I watched you for a solid few months. All of a sudden, you pop up on my comments. I'm like, this is one of the greatest nights. The people I watch are watching me now.
Yeah, man.
I don't know how you found me. I really don't.
How was it? I'm not sure. Honestly, I'm not sure what it was. I think I stumbled upon, what video was it? It was one of your videos. I can't remember which one it was, to be honest. And ended up subbing, and just by chance, I think I was before I was going to bed or something, I saw that video that you had made about Soundcore, and I knew. I think it was Linus. Linus had dropped the video first.
Yeah, I was so upset
Yeah.
because I'll be honest, I don't dislike Soundcore. I love them, but I was just so frustrated because when I saw that video, I was like, here's a guy like Linus. Now listen, I'm not trying to talk trash about anybody. I don't like to. In the past, I used to because I didn't give a crap, but now I got to be respectful because now bigger people are watching me and I have a fan base. But when I saw that video, I was like, y'all really gave this man 100 speakers. You could have used that to give it to better creators. I'm not even talking about myself. I'm talking other people, real YouTubers that can make a difference when it comes to people. And you give it to the biggest YouTuber on the platform who's going to grab the views, which is cool. That's fine. But you've taken an opportunity away from others to have an influence and give their perspective. Mm-hmm. And I was so upset because I don't know. I that night I was upset. And I was just like, now I know why they ignored me. They already had something planned, and I guess they didn't care. And I was just so upset. And when I saw that comment and you told me to follow you and you tried to help me, it brought a lot of inspiration that night because you brought my hopes back up. And because of you that I'm actually got back on track. Because that night, I don't think anybody knows, but that night I was truly defeated. Like I felt like this was it. Like I just burned a bridge with Soundcore, and that I don't know what to do. And when I saw that, and when these YouTubers were reaching out, especially you, I didn't think John was going to reach out at first. I was shocked at that. But when I saw you reach out, I was like, okay, this is serious. Like this is a real thing. And when you started helping me and you started bringing my hopes back, and not just, you didn't destroy them. They're still high because a lot of things have happened since then. Mm-hmm. So if it weren't for you reaching out that night, I don't think I'd ever be this happy on YouTube at this moment, because that night I felt so defeated. So I just want to take this time to thank you for your influence on my YouTube from that night, from now, and what you've been trying to do for me. We'll talk after the show, but you truly have been one of those people that I will always look at, not only as an inspiration of who I want to be as a YouTuber, but as somebody who wants to give back to others. That's why I created the Sunday shout out. I shout out people on Sundays that deserve a platform to be heard. I don't do it as often anymore, but I'm getting back into it. And the kindness that you showed me helped me want to give to others and want to do better for people. And trust me, I know it sounds crazy what I'm saying, and I probably sound like just a kid that's just with meeting his fan,
You're
but
good.
it's the truth. It's the truth, you know. And I really appreciate you trying to help. I appreciate you watching me, subscribing, and I really appreciate what you've done for me. And I want to take this chance to thank you personally, properly, but also I want to welcome you to the Technoid Nation, the SMT Nation, whatever nation you go to. But for my channel, the Technoid Army, we're calling it. I got to get a name going for the crew, but I want to welcome you in, not only with open arms, but I want to allow you, if you ever want to come on my channel, if you ever want to talk tech, if you ever want to collaborate, anything. I love working with YouTubers. That's the one thing I love. And I would love to open the doors to collaboration with you, Sam. We can all go live one night and things like that in the future. Not right now, but I love working with people. I think it's a great thing. And I really, really want to say that you are now welcomed in, not only to my channel, to my community, but you're welcomed in with open arms. So thank you.
Appreciate you, man. And I'm glad it worked out, bro. I honestly, part of what made me reach out is because I've definitely, like, it's not like I have a big channel, like I got 100,000 subscribers or anything like that, but I feel like, and to answer, I think Raphael's question.
Yeah, he asked. I was gonna pull that up.
I started at the end of November 2019, so not very long.
Just around the same time I was watching you.
Right. So you would have probably seen my first video that kind of blew up was the Liberty Air 2s versus
Yep, that was it.
Apple AirPods Pro.
I was literally watching that, and I was saying to myself, I was actually looking to buy one of those, and luck would have it.
Yeah, so I kind of made that just out of nowhere. Like when I started my channel, I wasn't really expecting anything, to be honest. I remember I had spoken to my wife about it and just said, like, yeah, I want to start a YouTube channel. Nothing serious, like probably nothing come of it. I don't expect to get any subscribers or anything like that. And I made that one video, and like kind of by accident, it just kind of blew up. And I remember before that happened, thinking, you know, I think I was around like a couple hundred subs at the time, and just reach out to companies and being ghosted. And so I knew exactly what that felt like, to just get ghosted for absolutely no reason, right? Because at the end of the day, you feel like you're making content, and it's good content. The only difference between yours and somebody else's is that, you know, like MKBHD has, you know, 14 million.
Oh yeah, they'll have their fan base. They'll have it. So it's a hard process.
Yeah, so and I get it from a company standpoint too, because like their videos are going to reach more people. But I feel at the end of the day, you got to give the small guys a chance too. So someone like myself and somebody like you, who our channels are, you know, relatively the same size, what is there to lose by just trying to help each other? So if it came down to even me having to send you my Liberty 2 Pros to borrow, like that's something that I would do, because at the end of the day, if it's going to give you a chance to make the content right, then, you know, what negatives are there of having more people reviewing the same thing on YouTube, other than to give the average consumer the chance to cover all their bases and see all the different opinions. So when I saw that, you know, Linus got 100 speakers, and I've never met the guy, I don't have anything.
Yeah, I don't hold anything against him either. Yeah, I respect him.
You know, you're going to give one guy 100, and you're not going to help one guy out to get just a single one.
I didn't even ask for two. I had said that I originally was willing to pay for them. I didn't even want them for free. I said I wanted to pay.
Too.
I said, like, I don't ask things for free. Like, that's the one thing I will say. I never want to take things for free. I'm willing to pay. It was just this one situation where I was just really, really low. But then my birthday came, and then Ramadan came, and all of a sudden my account blew up finally. And I'm like, I finally have the money to do it. And I was like, you know what? Let me run with it. But yeah, like I was a kid that night. I acted like a kid. But when I saw the positivity come back, people telling me to keep putting my head up, and then I saw your comment and I saw John, I started to realize what I had did. And I wanted to apologize, but I just felt like, you know what, let me just take the video down, and let me just do what I do all the time. Just make videos and have fun with it. I don't talk ill about any company. I don't like to do that. I don't like to talk ill about any YouTubers unless they've done anything that's wrong. I mean, Jake Paul and all them. But in all honesty, though, I like to pay for my stuff. I don't take things for free. I'm a guy that lives by a motto: the best opinion is the best heard from the person who buys it themselves. And that's just something I live with. Now, I'm not discrediting you, because you are more honest than anybody will be, because you're not afraid to say the truth. like in your headphones, over your headphones. Who cares if you got it for free? You told the truth, and it's the truth. Most of these people get this stuff for free. I'm not even talking SoundCloud. I'm talking YouTuber content creators. They kiss the company's butt. They take the product, and then they go, this video was paid by them or sponsored by them. Like, that's the thing why I was mad at Linus, because all his Soundcore videos, the first thing you see, sponsored by. And it's not even him talking. And that's why I prefer your videos and I prefer everybody else's videos over him or any other big YouTuber, because the difference is you paid for it, or at least if you got it, you're not afraid to say the truth, but you paid for it. You don't have a script. You're saying it out of your words. And it pissed me off when he got 100 speakers, and you know damn well he's not going to keep those 100 speakers unless he probably did or sold them. I don't know.
He did a giveaway. I don't know what he did with them after, but
I don't know what he did. But all I'm going to say is this. I was upset, and that was what happened that night. I can't take it back, but you know what? I grew from that, and I learned, and look where I'm at. Originally that night, I was not even at the count that I'm at now. I'm not even trying to use numbers. I'm just saying. So in the time, I've been able to grow, and it was only a span of a couple months. So I pick up fast, and I learn. And I think I'm going to end it with this. Integrity is a gift to oneself. And Robert, that's actually a very good quote. I'm going to leave it at that. So listen, I'm going to end the show now, but before I go, I want you to promote your channel. I want you to say what you are, to let them know what you do, and we will leave a link at the end of this video. So the floor is yours.
man, I don't even know what to say. Yeah, my channel's called ShoAndTech. It's a play on words like show and tell because I'm a teacher. If you want honest reviews, that's where you can find them. I don't really do anything specific, so I know everyone says you should have a niche and like focus on headphones or focus on cell phones or whatever it might be, but I kind of just do it all. Whatever tech I buy and use is the tech that I review. So most of the stuff that you see on my channel is stuff that I actually use personally. So like if you look at my last 5 videos up on the screen, the Note 10 Plus is my everyday phone. The Palm slides I've been using for the last couple of weeks. The Sigma 16 millimeter and the Canon EOS M50 I just bought to upgrade my channel because I used to record everything on my Note 10 Plus for the last 6 months. And then like the Power Wave was a giveaway, so Anchor did sponsor that one 100%. But everything else on the channel is honest. So if you ever have any questions or anything that you want to see on the channel, I make the orders myself and review it based on my opinion. So that's about it.
All right. And listen, guys, like I said, I'm all about giving back to people that deserve it and also people that need a platform. You've obviously established yourself, but I still think there's more. So I advise everybody that watches this video, if you made it this far, please subscribe to ShoAndTech. Give him the support and love. Show him what you guys have shown me, the love and support. Leave the comments and likes and turn on the notifications so you don't miss any of his videos. And that's it for tonight's episode of Technoid. So guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I want to thank each and every one of you for joining. I want to thank all the people that have given me the super chat. I really appreciate that. Anyway, guys, if you like this live stream, hit that like button. If you dislike the video, hit the dislike button. It still helps circulate my videos on YouTube. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, everybody. Take care, and peace.
Peace, guys.